Hello everyone, today we're going to go a bit further into our pre-season content, and today we're going to try and dissect the career of our new gaffer, Samuel Young, and from there I'm going to give you a few of my own thoughts about what we should probably expect from the gaffer, and hopefully try to start to build an understanding of what we could expect. And perhaps this could be the stepping stone of getting the gaffer involved, to give his own thoughts what we should be expecting for 2020. So first off, let's dive into his experience. Now, his first position was as coach of Chicago Fire. That's quite impressive if it was straight up senior team. However, he was involved at their elite youth program as a coach. Still an important first step. In 2013, he was first involved here at South Melbourne, where he was particularly involved with the coaching of Premier League age groups from under 9s to under 14s level. And according to his public notes anyway, he was involved with our 2017 campaign, as well as coaching during State League 2 period. Now, while trying to go further into research, I haven't been able to find records to strain this out, because this is a little bit of a mess. As exactly what was his position. Again, something more than welcome. Sam, if you're watching this, please come talk with myself or anyone else involved with this series at the time, and help us dissect what was your time at South Melbourne. I think something that not all of us are aware of, and perhaps not all of us had any involvement with, particularly myself. Most of the players, I don't believe, had any involvement, at least any direct involvement. So, always good to know a little bit more about your history, mate. So, Young, he was with us until the end of 2017. Also in 2017, should note that he was the head coach of the first team for Mentone Grammar, a very, very prestigious school. Speaking of prestigious schools, in 2018, he was involved at St Leonard's College, another big name here in Melbourne, where it stated he was responsible for the delivery of the school soccer program for all year levels through 7 to 12, and he was also the first team boys and girls coach. Going into last year, 2019, he held a number of positions. He was the head of junior football SAP program at Port Melbourne, where he was overseeing boys and girls from the ages of 5 to 12. He was also involved at a third school for his career, being at the far more prestigious Melbourne Grammar, the under 15 boys as their head coach. The position he apparently is still holding. Also in 2019, he took up no less than 3 posts with Melbourne City, that being title football coach of their city football schools, title City College of Football at John Faulkner, and title City in the Community coach. And of course, as of late last year, he was appointed as our first team gaffer. Now, I think first thing to break all this down is the focus that Young's career has had so far, particularly junior ages, be it through the various schools that he's worked at, the various junior programs, both here at South Melbourne, at Chicago, also at Port Melbourne, and similarly to agree as well at Melbourne City, with their City Football Schools program and City in the Community. I suspect is almost universally youth football. So certainly this year will be a big step up for Young. Now certainly I suppose there's a little bit less weight upon him going into the season with Southern United and Geelong Galaxy no longer part, at least at the senior level, of the WNPL here in Victoria. Yes, there's a little less competition, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that the level expected of competition has dropped. And if anything, I think most people would expect and should expect that the level of competition must increase in 2020, both at South Melbourne, at Calder, at Heidelberg, at Box Hill, and so on. Every team must prove themselves this year. So, yes, I believe this will be probably the greatest step up in his career. Certainly he's familiar with the club, so that does help ease in transition. And while it might not be a direct transition or even a direct return to South Melbourne as such, I think the supposed curse that many gaffers have when returning to a club could be potentially at play. Why this is generally superstitious. Yes, a lot of big names have struggled. There are also gaffers who come back and been successful. I believe Bayern Munich has certainly had a history of that, if I remember correctly. So perhaps this year will be like Bayern Munich, welcoming back a former member of our team and going forth and delivering a very, very successful 2020 campaign, and hopefully beyond that. On top of that, since 2016, Young has held the AFC B licence. Now, to quote Football Victoria's program, the B licence is for coaches of top amateur, elite youth and state teams who hold the FFA, AFC C licence or have recognised accepted UEFA C or AFC C licence after completing Form 9. This course is open to coaches 18 years and older, focusing on the 11v11 aspects of the game. Candidates will be able to analyse football and apply the FFA vision and philosophy in the game training model. End quote. So certainly, he's a very qualified leader of footballers, not overly experienced at a senior level, but nonetheless, there's no reason why he can't perform. Certainly, Young has a lot to prove. Then again, so did Mick Gallo last season with his boosted up role going from team manager to gaffer. So, it can be done. There can be some success. Though I feel there might be greater expectations. Doesn't mean those are going to be met. You can't say that absolutely. There's a possibility, there's a strong possibility. I think it can be done, but again, it's not for me to prove. It's for Mr. Young to prove. Anyway, beyond football, certainly Mr. Young is quite capable, it would seem. He's good at all ages, as he's proven. Certainly more focused at youth, but he does have senior connections, which is certainly a positive. So yes, I think from a footballing perspective, Mr. Young does have a lot to bring in a positive way. Now, beyond football, he is supposedly also a big fan of Manchester City. A little surprised why he's gone to Melbourne City. I suppose it is the same club. It really is the same club. Just tentacles. So, will our Northerner a northerner who loves Manchester City, supposedly, anyway, who is certainly loyal to Melbourne City, will stake his claim at South Melbourne upon his return and bring success. I hope so. And Sam, if you're watching this, feel free to come talk to us at any point. And yes, all the best for 2020. Now moving beyond this episode of our Fan TV, it should be noted that we do have interviews lined up with a number of players so far. Now I'm personally hoping to be able to go through all our new signings, speak with them, what do they expect from the season, what do they think they can bring towards South Melbourne, but also start to gauge exactly what should we be thinking, what should we be expecting. And I believe incomers' insights will be probably the strongest for 2020, considering how we've had such a shake-up in our squad compared to from last season. But also, according to one of my sources, it is the Gaffer himself who's done a lot of the headhunting. So what can they provide us about himself? So, much to talk about. Not much more to talk about for this episode. So, until we last see each other, come on, hell, Soleil.